Jordan Reyes sat on a bench inside a crowded starport on the edge of Sector 9. Ships came and went. Aliens of all kinds moved around, speaking in different tongues, wearing robes, armor, or glowing visors. Jordan looked down at his half-broken Relorse. Datapad inside. No messages, no offers, no home. Just drifting. He had fought in the Earth-Talax War 2 years ago. After the peace treaty, soldiers like him were given one choice: go home or disappear. But his home was already gone. So Jordan wandered from planet to planet, doing small jobs, fixing engines, loading cargo, and cleaning station floors. He didn't complain. Work was work, and at least he was alive as he scrolled through local job listings. One ad caught his eye. The text was short, clean, and strange. Personal attendant wanted Royal Palace. Velmara Prime. Clean record required. Must be discreet. Room, board, and protection guaranteed. Immediate placement. There was no contact number. Just a single button. Apply now. Jordan blinked. Royal Palace. He had never heard of Velmara Prime, but the ad didn't ask for experience. And something about it felt different. He pressed apply. 2 minutes later, his datapad pinged. You've been accepted. Report to Dock 7. Transport leaves in 30 minutes. What? He frowned. That fast? But he had nothing to lose. He grabbed his bag, threw in his few clothes, and made his way to Dock 7. Arrival at Velmarathi trip to Velmara Prime took 10 hours. The ship was quiet, sleek, and full of silence. Jordan noticed there were no other passengers. Only a soft-voiced female AI greeted him. Welcome, Mr. Reyes. Please enjoy the ride. Food has been prepared for you? He asked a few questions. The AI didn't answer. When they landed, Jordan saw a world unlike any he had ever visited. Velmara Prime was covered in glowing blue trees, floating crystal lakes, and soft golden clouds. The sky shimmered as if it were painted. The palace rose from a silver mountain. It looked ancient and elegant, with tall towers made of lightstone and blue glass domes. Jordan was met by 2 silent guards wearing silver armor. They did not speak. They only guided him into the palace. Inside, everything smelled clean, warm, and slightly sweet. The floors were polished, the walls painted with gentle art that moved like flowing water. Lights floated above like stars. A small alien woman with blue skin and round eyes greeted him at the guest hall. You are the new attendant? She asked in a soft voice. Yes, Jordan Reyes, he said, offering a small bow. Follow me. She replied and turned quickly. Meeting the queen, he was taken to a long corridor with large doors. At the end stood 2 more armored guards. One of them tapped a panel, and the doors opened with a soft hum. Her Majesty awaits, said the woman. Jordan stepped inside. The chamber was large but quiet. Tall windows let golden sunlight pour in. Flowers hung from the ceiling. And in the center sat a tall alien woman on a low throne, wearing a dark flowing robe that shimmered like water under moonlight. She was not like any alien Jordan had seen. Before, she had silver eyes that didn't blink often, skin the color of lavender mist, and long hair that looked like strands of black light. She held a thin scepter in her right hand and watched him closely. Jordan Reyes, she said softly. He bowed again. Yes, Your Majesty. She stood up and walked toward him slowly, each step smooth and quiet. You were once a soldier. Yes. But I'm not anymore. She stopped only a few feet from him. And now you wish to be a maid? I just need a job, ma'am. Don't care what it is. She tilted her head. Good, you will clean, serve, and keep your mouth shut. Do this, and you will be protected. I understand. She stared at him longer than felt comfortable. Her silver eyes seemed to look through him. Then she turned and waved her hand. You will stay in the West Wing. Your room is beside mine. That is not a mistake, he nodded. She walked away but paused near the doorway. One more thing? Yes. Nightfall comes early on this world. Be awake when it does. Your real duties begin then. Before he could ask more, she disappeared. Through a velvet curtain, A hidden message Jordan was shown to his room. It was far better than he expected. Soft bed, personal bath, even a window with a view of the twin moons. He placed his bag on the bed and sat down. What have I gotten into? He thought. There was a tray with food waiting for him, fruit spiced, bread, and something that tasted like glowing honey. Then he noticed a small envelope on the desk. It was sealed with dark purple wax and marked with the Queen's crest. He opened it. Inside was a folded note written in neat handwriting. This palace is not what it seems. Trust no one in uniform. Speak only when alone. Tonight, when the third moon rises, check the panel behind your mirror. Jordan reread the message 3 times. His heart beat faster. What the hell is going on here? The silent palace's night approached. The palace grew even quieter. Jordan cleaned his hallway, polished silver trays, and folded soft towels as instructed. Other servants passed by, but none spoke. Their eyes darted around as if they feared being watched. Dinner was delivered to his room. No one knocked. He waited. When the third moon rose a small red sphere in the sky, he stood in front of the mirror. He placed his hand along the edges, searching. Finally, he found it. A small button hidden behind the top corner. He pressed it. The mirror clicked and opened like a door. Inside was a narrow space. A note and a datapad were sitting on a shelf. Note read, "Mission begins soon. You have been chosen for your silence, not your strength. Read the file. Burn it before dawn." He picked up the datapad. It displayed images, names, and palace maps, secret tunnels, guard shifts, and something. Marked Archive Room Target Object. There was one more message at the end. "You are not a maid. You are my only chance." Jordan stared at the words, and his hands trembled slightly. He had only wanted a job. But now he was part of something else. Something dangerous. He slid the mirror closed, locked it, and sat on the edge of his bed. The Queen's silver eyes flashed in his memory. What kind of queen hires a maid to spy for her? He didn't know yet, but he was going to find out. Jordan didn't sleep that night. He kept staring at the datapad he found behind the mirror. It showed tunnels, patrol schedules, and secret passages marked with glowing red lines. At the bottom, there were 3 words that chilled him. Trust no one. The Queen had chosen him? Why? He didn't know. Maybe because he was a human. Maybe because he was a stranger. Maybe because he had nothing to lose. But it didn't matter anymore. He was in it now. Deep at sunrise, he burned the note and the file, just like she told him. The ashes fell quietly into a small fire pit built into the wall. That day, everything looked normal. He cleaned silver plates. He folded purple banners. He dusted art pieces that floated in the air. No one said a word to him, but he noticed strange things. Guards stood in places that weren't mentioned in the patrol list. Some hallways had whispering devices hidden in the corners, and some servants walked in loops, repeating the same tasks again and again like machines. At lunch, he was called to serve water in the royal garden. That's when he saw her again. The Queen's warning Queen Thalexa sat under a tree with glowing orange leaves. Her robe flowed like liquid darkness around her. She was speaking to a tall alien general in gold armor. The man had eyes like hard stone and a voice like dry glass. Jordan approached with the water tray, pretending to be slow and nervous. The Queen looked at him briefly and turned back to the general. "I expect your loyalty, General Voron," she said softly. "You always have it, Your Grace," the man replied. But his tone was too smooth. Jordan felt the tension between them. He poured the water and stepped back. "Leave us," the Queen said suddenly. Without looking at him, Jordan bowed and left the garden. But as he turned, he heard the general's voice shift. "You're losing control, Thalexa. You know it." Her answer was too soft to hear. Later that evening, a note appeared in Jordan's towel pile. "Midnight. Corridor 7. Come alone." At midnight, he sneaked through the dim halls and reached Corridor 7. It was quiet. It's quiet. He pressed himself against the wall and waited. Then a panel beside a statue slid open. A pale hand reached out, grabbing his wrist. He didn't fight. The Queen pulled him into a narrow, hidden room. It was barely big enough for 2 people. Soft purple lights glowed from the floor. The walls were soundprof. Flexa stood close to him, too close. Her silver eyes were sharper than ever. "You found the datapad," she said. "Yes," Jordan replied. "I read it all. You understand what I'm asking you to do? It's not everything, but I know enough." She studied him for a moment. "Good. Then we don't have time to waste." The truth behind the throne. She tapped the wall. A small screen popped up. It showed maps of the palace and several images of alien faces marked in red. "My advisors have betrayed me," she said. "They plan to overthrow me within days." Jordan frowned. "Why not arrest them now? Because they've planted watchers all over. If I move against one, the others will act first. I can't trust my guards. Not even my personal aides." "So you picked a cleaner." "I picked the only person here who isn't in anyone's pocket," she said. "You are unseen, a shadow. That's what I need." Jordan crossed his arms. "What exactly do you want from me?" She looked at him seriously. "There's a vault below the old royal library. Inside it is a data crystal. The crystal holds proof of their secret deals with the Trinex Empire, our enemies. If I can show that to the Galactic Court, I can stop the coup. And you want me to steal it?" Quietly, without alerting the palace. Jordan nodded slowly. "When?" "Tonight, into the tunnels." The queen gave him a small device, round, black, and smooth. "This will disable cameras for 20 seconds. Use it wisely." She showed him a passage hidden behind an old wall near the servant baths. "Follow it to the library's lower level. Watch for the beast." "Beast? There's a guardian in the tunnels, ancient, trained to kill intruders." Jordan stared at her. "You're just telling me this now. I said it would be dangerous." She stepped closer. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "You don't have to do this. You can walk away. No one will blame you." Jordan looked into her eyes and smiled. "Too late now, Your Majesty." The tunnel was dark and cold. Strange roots crawled along the ceiling. Jordan held a small light in one hand and the jammer in the other. He followed the map in his head. Left down, then right. Soon he reached an old stone door. Symbols glowed on the surface. He tapped one. The door slid open with a deep hum. Inside was a large round chamber filled with floating shelves and ancient scrolls. In the center was a glass pedestal, and on it, crystal blue, bright, pure energy. He stepped forward slowly. That's when he heard it. Low growl. From the shadows came a creature, unlike anything he'd seen, like a six-legged panther made of black smoke. With glowing red eyes, it growled again and circled him. Jordan froze. He slowly reached into his pocket, pulled out a piece of dried meat from dinner, and threw it to the side. The beast sniffed it, then lunged at him. Jordan rolled under a shelf, grabbed the pedestal, and yanked the crystal free. Alarms began to hum faintly. The beast roared and jumped again. He hit the jammer. Button lights blinked. Dan ran for the exit. Back to the queen, he reached the hidden door just before the alarm. Systems lit up. Guards shouted in the distance. Jordan shoved the crystal into a cloth bag, slipped through the tunnel, and emerged near the queen's chamber. She was already waiting. He handed her the crystal. She looked at him with real emotion, surprise, relief, and something else. "You actually did it?" Jordan panted. "Was there ever a plan if I failed?" She smiled faintly. "Yes, but none as brave." They stood in silence for a moment. Then she spoke, her voice soft but serious. "You've done more for me than anyone in this palace. I owe you more than words." Jordan looked away. "Just keep your throne. That's enough." "No," she said. "It's not." She stepped closer. "There's more I must ask you. One last thing." Jordan looked back into her silver eyes. "What?" The queen's chamber was quiet, with only the soft hum of glowing crystal lights above. Jordan stood in the middle of the room, tired and sweaty from the mission. Queen Thalixa held the data crystal in both hands, her silver eyes glowing with a mix of joy and tension. "You've done what no one else could," she whispered. "This holds the truth and the power to save my throne." Jordan leaned against a pillar, still breathing hard. So what's next? You show this to the people? She shook her head slowly. I can't show it here. The court is full of spies. Even the palace council may be involved. The only place this will be accepted is the sacred galactic court on Zaranus Prime. Jordan frowned. That's across the sector. I know. I'll never let you leave. She looked at him. That's why I'm not going. A dangerous offer. Jordan stood straight. Wait, what? I want you to go, the queen said. You will pose as a royal courier, carrying this evidence directly to the court. He blinked. You want me? To carry royal secrets across light years, while everyone is hunting you, and I'm not even from this planet. That's exactly why you must go, she said. You're the only one they won't expect. Jordan stared at her. You sure you trust me that much? I don't have the luxury of doubt, she said quietly. Besides, I've seen your heart. Risked your life for someone you barely knew. She placed the crystal in a small metal case and closed it. The seal shimmered. Then she handed him a thin silver chain with a dark emblem at the end. My personal sigil, she said. It will give you access to the court chambers and protect you from most scans. Jordan took it gently. What if I get caught? They'll kill you, she answered, without hesitation. But if you succeed, Velmara survives. Jordan stared at the seal. Then he looked back up. I'll do it. Goodbyes in shadows, the queen led him to a secret hangar deep beneath the palace. A small diplomatic vessel waited, hidden under layers of rock and energy fields. Before he boarded, Thalixa placed her hand on his chest. I never expected this, she said. Not from a stranger. Not from a simple worker. Jordan smiled. A little funny? I never expected to care this much about a queen. Their eyes met. Then, without words, she stepped back and gave the final command. Fly true, Jordan Reyes. He nodded. I'll come back. Bounty in the stars, the ship took off quietly. No alarms, no patrols. The Queen's access code still worked. As soon as they left Velmara's orbit, Jordan activated the ship's AI. Set course for Zaranus Prime. Silent flight. Avoid known patrol paths. The ship obeyed, adjusting its path through asteroid belts and ancient trade routes. But 2 hours later, a warning flashed on the screen. Bounty issued. Human male. Suspected of treason and theft. All ships. Detain or destroy. Jordan cursed. That was fast. He checked the bounty image. It was him, clear and sharp. Someone inside must have seen me, he muttered. Mercenary trouble. His path took him through the Holix Drift, a lawless zone full of pirates and smugglers. He kept the ship dark, but a signal still reached him. Unknown vessel. He powered down and prepared to be boarded. Jordan looked out the window. A large mercenary cruiser had appeared behind him. He had tried to dodge. They fired a warning shot. Too fast, he powered down, pretending to surrender. As the ship connected, Jordan grabbed a small blaster from the emergency kit. He hid behind a control panel. 2 mercenaries boarded, one large reptilian, the other short with 6 arms. Only one life form, said the tall one. Human. Check the cargo, said the other. As they searched, Jordan slipped behind them. One shot, the short alien dropped. The reptilian turned, but Jordan ducked and fired twice more. Both fell. He grabbed their access cards, disconnected. The boarding ramp fired the ship's engines. The cruiser tried to chase, but he jumped into hyperspace just in time. The long flight. The next few days were hard. Jordan didn't sleep much. He kept the ship hidden, only stopping at small outposts for fuel and water. He avoided major ports and didn't answer any signals. Sometimes he replayed Thalexa's last words in his head. You're the only one they won't expect. Other times he wondered if this was a death mission. Still, he kept going. The case with the crystal never left his side. On the 7th day, the ship's AI gave the final message, arriving at Zaranus Prime in 1 hour. Court of the Starsuxerus Prime was a planet of floating islands, glowing towers, and endless lights. It was home to the sacred galactic court, where empires sent their leaders and criminals alike. Jordan's ship was scanned dozens of times as He landed. He used the Queen's sigil to pass through each level of security. A robotic voice guided him through marble halls filled with beings from across the galaxy, some tall, some floating, some made of light. Finally, he reached a chamber. With 10 glowing thrones, the judges of the court sat in silence as he stepped forward. He placed the case on the stand. "My name is Jordan Reyes, human, former soldier. I speak on behalf of Queen Thalixa of Velmara." The judges did not move. "I bring proof of betrayal. Insider counsel of deals made with the Trinex Empire to sell Velmara's future." He opened the case. The data crystal floated upward and began to glow. Holograms filled the room images. Recordings, secret meetings. The judges leaned forward. One of them finally spoke. "We will investigate. The crystal is valid." Another judge looked at Jordan. "You risked much, human." Jordan nodded. "I didn't do it for medals," the third judge said. "The accused have 2 days to surrender. Velmara will be protected until truth is found." Jordan stepped back, and for the first time in weeks, he exhaled. Across the stars, the message spread fast, across Velmara. The people saw the truth, Jordan, standing in front of the court, showing the evidence. The traitors were arrested. General Vorin tried to escape but was caught. Others were stripped of power. Queen Thalexa was cleared. She sent only one message to Jordan. "You did it. Come home." Return of the Humana. A week later, Jordan's ship landed on Velmara Prime once again. This time, guards saluted him. Banners flew in his honor, and the Queen herself waited at the landing pad. She wore a new robe, white and gold. Colors of victory. Jordan stepped down from the ship. Their eyes met. "You survived," she said. "You're still queen," he answered. She walked closer. "No more secrets, no more missions." He smiled. "What now?" She paused. "Now, I ask you something real." "What? Will you stay?" Jordan looked around the palace, the people. Herdot nodded. "I'll stay." The days following Jordan's return to Velmara were filled with tension and uncertainty. Though the Galactic Court had ruled in favor of Queen Thalexa and the traitors were arrested, the palace still felt like a trap. Whispers floated through the halls like ghosts, and eyes watched every move Jordan made. He wasn't just a visitor now. He was a symbol, a target. Unseen enemies one afternoon, as Jordan walked through the palace gardens. He noticed a strange figure watching him from behind. A tall hedge. The figure disappeared as soon as Jordan turned. That night, a message was slipped under his door. "Meet me at the old observatory, midnight. Come alone." Jordan hesitated but knew better than to ignore such a summons. At midnight, he made his way through the dark corridors, heart pounding. The old observatory was dusty and silent, its large glass dome cracked but still magnificent. Inside stood a tall alien woman with silver hair and piercing green eyes. "I'm Lyra," she said quietly. "I'm part of the Queen's loyal circle. But some here want to see her fall." Jordan nodded slowly. "So you want my help?" She smiled faintly. "More like your trust." The traitors left behind dangerous allies. Together, they planned their next moves. A dangerous mission. Lyra explained that a secret weapon, hidden in the palace's vaults, could turn the tide against their enemies. If it falls into the wrong hands, Velmara will fall. The weapon was an ancient artifact, rumored to be powered by star energy. Jordan's next task was clear. Find the artifact before the enemies did. Into the depths, Jordan and Lyra descended into the palace's deepest vaults. Places even the Queen rarely visited. The air was thick and cold. Strange glyphs glowed faintly on the walls. As they moved deeper, alarms suddenly blared. "We're discovered," Lyra hissed. Shadows moved in the dark corridors. They fought off several shadowy figures, assassins. Sent by the traitors' hidden allies, Jordan used his training, striking quickly. Dodging blows, they reached the chamber holding the artifact, a glowing orb, pulsing with blue light. Jordan grabbed it carefully, escape and betrayal as they turned to leave. Lyra suddenly stopped. "Wait," she whispered. Jordan looked up to see. several palace guards blocking their exit. Lyra's eyes met his. "I'm sorry," she said softly. "I had no choice." Jordan's heart sank. She turned away as the guards closed in. Captured Jordan was taken to a cold cell deep within the palace. The walls hummed with energy. A familiar voice echoed through the chamber. "Did you really think it would be that easy?" General Voren stood before him, smirking. "You've been useful, human. But now, you're a problem." Jordan clenched his fists. He wasn't done yet. Hope and darkness in his cell. Jordan found a hidden panel. Using the skills he learned on the battlefield, he manipulated the locks. With careful effort, he opened the door and slipped out. The palace was darker than before. He moved silently, searching for an ally. The Queen's rescue, meanwhile. Queen Thalexa was under house arrest, but she was not helpless, using her royal training. She sent a coded message to Jordan, following the signal. Jordan found her hidden chamber. Together, they planned a final stand against their enemies, rising together with renewed hope. Jordan and the Queen gathered loyal guards. They confronted General Voren and his conspirators. After a fierce battle, justice was restored. Volmera's future was secure. The palace was alive with tension. After the capture of General Voren and his conspirators, Queen Thalexa's hold on Velmara had been restored, but the wounds of betrayal ran deep. The halls that once whispered threats now buzzed with cautious hope. Yet, for Jordan Reyes, the man who had come here as a simple maid, everything was about to change. The day of judgment in the grand hall, where once shadows had ruled, the Queen stood tall, her lavender skin glowing softly under the crystal chandeliers. Around her, the council members who had betrayed her were brought forth not in chains of cruelty, but with the dignity of justice. Jordan stood beside her, his eyes scanning the room. I felt out of place. This was not the life he had imagined when he answered his simple job posting. But now, standing with the Queen, he felt a purpose deeper than any battlefield he had known. Thalexa raised her hand, and silence fell. "The time of deception is over," she said, her voice calm but firm. "These men chose greed over loyalty. Their actions nearly destroyed our home." Her gaze softened as it met Jordan's. "But we will rebuild, together." Mercy and strength, the Queen decreed that the traitors would face trial in the sacred galactic court. They would answer for their crimes fairly, without vengeance or excess punishment. Jordan admired her choice. "Mercy," he said later, as they walked through the palace gardens. "Not everyone would do that." Thalexa smiled, her silver eyes warm. "Justice is not weakness. It is strength guided by compassion." Jordan nodded. An offer and a questionnaire, a private ceremony. The Queen presented Jordan with a medal, a symbol of honor rarely given to known aliens. "You risked your life for Velmara," she said. "For me, you are no longer a servant here." Jordan accepted it quietly. "Stay with us," she urged. "Your skills and heart are needed." He looked down, conflicted. "I'm just a human," he said softly. "You're more," she replied. "You chose to stand when others fled." A new role. Jordan began training alongside palace guards and diplomats. He learned the customs, languages, and secrets of Velmara. He wasn't just a maid anymore. He was a protector. The people, too, began to see him differently. From a stranger, he became a symbol of hope, and with Thalexa by his side, felt something new stirring, a connection neither had expected. Quiet moments one evening. Under the twin moons, Jordan and Thalexa walked along the palace balcony. The stars twinkled above them, silent witnesses to their unspoken feelings. Thalexa reached for Jordan's hand. "I never thought I would trust a human," she said quietly. Jordan smiled. "Neither did I." They looked out at the glowing city below, bright, alive, full of promise, the future together. The Queen turned to him. "Will you stay, Jordan, not as a servant, but as something more?" He squeezed her hand. "I will." For the first time in a long time, Jordan felt at home. Epilogue. The maid who became a legend. Years passed. The story of the human maid who saved an alien queen became legend across the stars. Songs were sung and tales told of courage, trust, and unexpected love. Jordan and Thalixa ruled side by side, building a future where humans and aliens stood together. And every day, Jordan remembered the simple job that changed his life forever.